our next speaker. She really needs little introduction for those of you who are from here in India. For the rest of us that are not from India, let me tell you just a little bit about Dr. Malati Holla. She has represented India in 3 Paralympic Games and 4 Asian Games. But wait, her story gets even better. She has won 389 gold, 227 silver, and 7 bronze medals in national and international events. And her list of amazing accomplishments continues. She has received 2 of India's highest honors. In addition, she is a tireless advocate for physically challenged children and individuals of India. I've had a chance to spend a few moments with her backstage, and you will be charmed by her warm and inviting personality. She is an amazing lady, and it is an honor and a privilege for me to introduce and for all of us to welcome one of India's most inspiring athletes, Dr. Malati Holla.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have come here to make you to experience my life, how I changed my faith into opportunity. When I was small, I wanted to be first among my friends who used to run to the backyard to pick up the fallen mangoes. I wanted to fly like a bird, fearlessly from one place to another. But as I grew up, I realized that you need 2 legs to run and wings to fly. Unfortunately, I didn't have both. I was hurt, but I didn't give up. I knew one day I would run. I was 14 months old when I was struck by polio that wheelchaired me for my entire life. But it could not deter me from becoming an athlete of repute, and so far I have seen 5 Paralympics in Seoul, Barcelona, Sydney, Athens, and Beijing. The Paralympic Games are a multi-sport event for athletes with physical and visual disabilities, held immediately after the Olympics every 4 years. My life is an inspiring story of great struggle, determination, and spirit to win all odds. I thought it would be an inspiring tale to tell. I was born in Bangalore on July 6th. I was afflicted by polio, stricken by a fever at the age of 1, which left my body paralyzed. I underwent electric shock treatment for a long period, which restored strength to my upper body. However, the strength of my willpower more than compensated for the loss of strength in my lower limbs. Almost 15 years spent in a residential school in Chennai, where I was admitted for my rehabilitation and polio-related problems, trained me to be confident, self-sufficient, and to stand up for myself in every difficult situation. Till date, I have undergone 33 surgeries. But that has not deterred me from bagging 389 gold medals, 27 silver, and 7 bronze in state, national, and international events as a paralyzed athlete. Laced with flood of recognition like the prestigious Padma Shri, Arjuna, and Ekalavya awards. I decided to take up the sports as a medicine and alternative medicine to cure my pain. Thus I took up sports and decided to do something different in my life. Yes, we are different, and so even our life should be a shining example of that difference. Physically challenged people have undergone so many difficulties in their lives because of the discrimination rampant in society. But we don't need any sympathy. Rather, we need empathy from society to prove our mettle. In 1994, I wanted to buy a car. I was told that some exemption would be given if I showed all my certificates to the central minister concerned. I went all the way from Bangalore to Delhi by train, accompanied by an escort. It was a 46-hour journey. It was a hell. A journey for the differently abled on an Indian train is very difficult. Anyhow, we got there. Parliament session was in. With the help of a local politician, we went to the Parliament building and waited to meet Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was then the finance minister. I wasn't very well known then, but I had almost 150 odd certificates with me. I kept all my sports certificates on Dr. Manmohan Singh's table and told him that I wanted to buy a car and needed excise duty exemption under the sports quota that I was entitled to do. I think he had a tough day in Parliament. He looked quite disturbed. He asked me if these were indeed my certificates. I said yes. He then shot a question. How can I believe that these are yours? I was outraged because I become lived if anyone questions my honesty or hard work. And to think that this question was being raised after I had traveled for 46 hours in a train that was so unfriendly to the differently abled that even I couldn't even use the toilet. You can imagine my mental state then. I looked at him straight in the face and said, how can I believe that? You are Mr. Manmohan Singh. He was taken back. What do you mean? He demanded. Sir, just to cheat you, I needn't have traveled over 46 hours with all my problems. I could have sent you these certificates by post, isn't it? These are my original certificates. If you want to, you can have them verified with the sports department. Though I said all this very politely, I was extremely hurt. Dr. Manmohan Singh apologized at once and asked me when I am returning back. He assured that I would have the exemption granted before I reached Bangalore. True to his words, when I reached Bangalore, the letter was on my table. I was very happy, not because I got the exemption, but because all my hard work had borne fruit. Now every differently abled person who buys a car gets the exemption. This incident gave me confidence and boosted my morale. If your approach is just and transparent, you can win the world, no matter who you are dealing with. In my biography, titled A Different Spirit, there are some poignant stories from my life like this. Right from my hostile mother, who failed to understand me properly, to suitors who first wooed me and then dumped me, to poor facilities for the physically challenged people in the country. What I have seen and gone through, many difficulties have all been penned. Whatever struggle I have been through should be able to inspire others, and that is what I wish for from the book. The more physical pain you suffer, the more mentally strong you become. And once you are strong mentally, the world will be on your feet. Sports gave me confidence and the strength to cope up my disability. The biggest trauma of being handicapped is the inferiority complex that creeps in, and I would tell the physically disabled to shed their negative thoughts and be positive. I hope my story of struggle and success will give the strength to many like me to lead better lives. I will be happy if others take a leaf out of my book and learn never to give up, come what may. I am not just a sportswoman. I am working for a bank as a senior manager, and I shelter 17 underprivileged, differently abled children hailing from rural areas at Matru Foundation, a charitable trust in Bangalore, established by me and my friends. My aim is to help and guide victims of polio from rural areas whose parents cannot afford to send their children to school or provide medical treatment. The Matru Foundation is my dream child. It is the home for my children. As a child, I grew up in a center for the differently abled where I was provided with basic amenities, help and support, which I believe played a phenomenal role in making me the person what I am today. Since then, I had a dream of working with the differently abled and assisting them in coping with their disabilities. I realized that dream when my close friend Mr. Krishna Reddy and I decided to start in an organization for the differently abled people like us. Though I was previously working with an NGO engaged in similar activities, I felt that starting my own organization would help me to contribute more. Initially, I was hesitant to take up on such a huge project, but Mr. Reddy supported and encouraged me, promising me to be beside me constantly. Through the foundation, we aim to reach the differently abled children from rural areas, especially those who were financially disadvantaged and could not afford the cost of rehabilitation. We also decided to focus on providing them with basic educational and medical amenities and supporting them until they were able to earn their own money. Thus began our journey to establish and develop Matru Foundation. We faced our share of difficulties in starting the organization. The first was finding a suitable location. This was solved by Mr. Krishnadas Nair, a former chairman of Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, who had won the Padma Shri Award the same year as I did. Matru Foundation, housed in HAL's rented accommodation, was finally inaugurated almost a year after the registration in May 2005. Our first child at the foundation was Belgaum's Somappa. He had just completed his 7th standard but was unable to afford further education as both his parents were bonded laborers. Today, he is working in a private company, earning on his own. Our second child was Khaled, a spastic child from Bangalore. He had lost both his parents and was being brought up by his grandmother, who was finding it difficult to take care of him. Mr. Kumaraswamy, Mahesh, and Mrs. Yashodamma helped me run the foundation. They are the 3 pillars and dedicated employees of the foundation. They see to it that children are given attention round the clock. In fact, Mr. Kumaraswamy sacrificed a lucrative MNC job to work with our foundation. This foundation would be nowhere without their support. Building this foundation has been a great learning experience for me. Today, it makes me proud that I have been able to help at least some people overcome their disability and believe that they can change their destiny. I wanted to expand Matri Foundation. I wanted to set up a rehabilitation and occasional training center to convey the message. I want to tell the differently abled that they are special and as important as anyone else, that they have the right to dream and to pursue their dream too, no matter how impossible it seems. I want to teach them to self-respect, especially women, that the way they'll earn the respect of the world too. I want to tell them that to be born a woman, a differently abled one, that is not a curse. I want to teach them to live their life with a smile, to make the world a happier place for themselves and for everyone around them, as I have. Because a minute part of my body is paralyzed. Rest everything is fantastic and phenomenal. My confidence is not paralyzed. My self-respect is not paralyzed. My self-belief is not paralyzed. Above everything, my ambitions and dreams are not paralyzed. After all, the world is like a mirror. It reflects our own images and attitude. I smile at the mirror every day, no matter how painful it is, and it smiles back at me. And I haven't given up the hope that one day I will run, maybe with a little help from you.
And ladies and gentlemen, MDRT President Scott Brennan.
You know what? Your dedication and tireless efforts on behalf of the children of your beautiful foundation for physically challenged Indian citizens is an inspiration to all of us. And it is my great pleasure to provide you with a $10,000 grant from the MDRT Foundation. God bless you.
We may not walk behind you. We may not walk beside you. We, the different able people, may not walk beside you holding hand in hand in our path of life. But if you lend your little finger, we can hold it and surely walk behind you, because you will be molding and shaping our future. And I got my little finger to hold it. Thank you, MDRT. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.